when we do get into a relationship, we forget to have, or we actually don't know that we need to have discussions that we should have in regards to issues that are going to present during our relationship. Now, when we meet someone, we fall in lust and love, and it's all wonderful. We get to know each other and their family. Then we get engaged and we plan the wedding. The amazing day, our most incredible day of our lives, our wedding, which is wonderful. The only problem is most of us actually forget to plan for the marriage and the life ahead, which is why we unfortunately have a divorce rate of around 50%. So what I'm trying to do is reduce that divorce rate substantially. By half would be good. That's my aim. And part of that is with the book and also with some webinars and things that I'm running for couples. Now, the thing that I find the biggest issue with couples when they come into the room is one of them will say, and this is not a gender bias thing, but normally it's she is saying, he won't talk, he doesn't communicate. And when we can't communicate, things aren't resolved. Issues will come up and matters aren't resolved. I start the conversation asking some questions, and after about 20 to 30 minutes, I say to him, could you stop talking now, please? And what we've done is we've shown both of them that the only way that we can communicate with each other is by providing a safe, non-judgmental environment to do that. If we want to talk to somebody and we're shut down, we're told that's silly, don't be ridiculous, or how could you think that? We're not going to talk, we're not going to continue with our communication. So my whole idea and my aim with the book and with other things that I do with couples is to promote a safe and non-judgmental environment. Just because the other person doesn't think or feel the same way as I do, it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means we're different. And that leads us on to the other issue that many couples come with is arguments. We're always fighting. We're arguing about this and that, often small things, and stuff isn't resolved. It comes up again, it's repeated again, maybe a few weeks or even months later. And why is it that we're still arguing about the same things? Well, that's because they aren't resolved, and both people haven't had the opportunity to speak about what they feel and what they think. But the other thing with arguments that I've found over quite a number of years is an argument is about one thing. I think you should feel, think, say, act, behave and do what I think is right. And if you don't do that, then you're obviously wrong, and I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to raise my voice and yell until you hear me. And of course, does it work? No. So I wonder, why do we continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result? We're not going to get one. We need to start doing something different to get a different result. And that applies to our relationship. It applies to pretty much everything. And it was Einstein that said that. And when you look at the intelligence of Einstein, I think it was pretty much on the mark. We need to do things different to get a different result. And the other thing that I always say is it's one thing to know what you want, and we all want a happy relationship, a loving life, a great family, a partnership that is so close and intimate, but we don't know how to get it. And my book and my information that I try and get out to people is exactly about that, how to get what it is you want. And I think every person on the planet wants to be loved. They want to feel comfortable and safe in their relationship. They want to be happy. They want to laugh. They want to share. They want to share their goals, their fears, their desires. That's what we all want, and that's what we all need as human beings. Can we achieve that? Absolutely. Can we have a relationship where there's never an argument? Yes, we can. And a lot of people look at me and think, really? You can actually be in a relationship for 10, 20 years or more and not argue? And yes, I tell them actually that's what you can do. Exactly right. And the way we do that is by, I guess, kindness. It's about respect, and it's about appreciation. So many times our partner will do something, whether it be around the house or at work or for the kids or cook dinner or mow the lawn, whatever it is, And we don't take a moment just to say, thank you. I noticed that. I respected that. Even if my husband makes baked beans on toast one night, and I do like baked beans on toast, I'll say, thank you, sweetheart. That was the best baked beans I've had for ages. Thank you. If he makes me a cup of tea or coffee, thank you so much, sweetheart. That was a beautiful cup of tea. I will make it a point to notice and to appreciate, which again goes along with respect and kindness. When we speak with our partner about what it is that we want in our relationship long term, I think they're the most important things. We need, of course, respect. We need to notice each other. We need to appreciate not just our partner but also our children. And once we can bring all of that into our relationship, then our relationship will grow stronger and it will grow happier. Now, there's many aspects, of course, to any long-term relationship, and we have a mixed audience of young and old, so I won't go into many of the matters of intimacy and so on that are also an important part of a relationship. But another major issue that does affect many couples is finance. Not so much we don't have enough, but it's more the transparency of finance with our partner. The amount of people that I've had in that have no idea how much their partner earns. It's quite extraordinary. I had a couple in recently and they were debating whether to have children or not, and she wanted a child and he wasn't sure, but he ended up agreeing that, you know what, I would like to be a dad, and we unpacked that and discussed that. But one of the comments that this woman, that his wife made was, I am petrified to have a child. And I said to her, thinking and assuming that she was talking about becoming a mother, but it wasn't anything about that. When I asked her, she said straight out, her words, I am petrified a baby is going to bankrupt me. And I asked her to explain. I was curious, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, she didn't know how much her husband earned, by the way. He told her in that, even though they'd been married for 8 years. And he earned, I think it was $130,000. She was a teacher and earned 70. But she said that their accounts are completely separate. He pays for this half, she pays for that half. And I said, well, what do you do when you go on holiday? Oh, well, I paid my half, he pays his. And she said, but that was a bit of a problem a couple of years ago when he wanted to fly business class and I didn't have the money. So I had to fly economy. And I'm thinking, this is a married couple. Yet they were living as two me's. They were not living as a we. And when me becomes we, everything is combined. Absolutely everything. But what's been absolutely extraordinary over the last 5 to 10 years that I've noticed so many more we's are still living as a me. And this lady was so distressed that she said, once I go on maternity leave, I will get it for, say, 6 months and then money will run out. But I am still going to have to pay half of everything. And her husband was sitting there and I looked at him and I said, can you hear what she's saying? And he's going, yeah, but I told her I'd put in extra for nappies. And I'm thinking, oh, that's very admirable. So I started to tell them and explain the legalities of marriage, that not only do we have all of the liability, all assets are actually combined. So whatever he earns, she has half. And he found that a little bit confronting. And even though she was happy to know that, as you would expect most people would, but they don't, she still had a great deal of trepidation, thinking that she could actually infringe on his money. Even though I tried to explain to her legally, it's your money too. So these are the sorts of things that do divide so many couples when they really don't need to and they shouldn't. I always suggest to couples to open up a joint account. They don't have to put equal amount in it. They can put all of their pay in it, I would suggest. But then they withdraw perhaps $100 each into their own private account to do with what they want. If they want to buy a surprise for their husband or their wife, then they don't need to know how much they paid for it and that sort of thing. Or the woman can get a facial, I suppose the man could as well, or have a bit of a bet on a horse or do whatever they want with their money. But all money is pooled together, and out of that pool, everything is paid. Rent or mortgage, insurances, food, gifts for the family, Everything is taken out of that pool of money. When we have that, we have transparency. We can see exactly what's there, what's going in, and if anybody is perhaps overspending a little, which is another slight issue that couples do experience. But part of the financial transparency comes back to communication. Because when there isn't any transparency in our finances, the couples obviously are not communicating. They're not communicating openly or correctly. So it's vital that every couple has complete financial transparency and therefore able to communicate. Now, the other thing that we've learnt just over the last few years is a new issue that is simply emerging for the first time in this generation, and that is social media. I don't know how many couples that I've had that have come in because one of them perhaps have been reconnecting with a past friend or developed perhaps a new friendship, if we can call the people on Facebook that we've never met and don't know anything about friends. But we make friends, and often some flirting goes on and one person finds out about it. Now, say, I'll just use generally gender, say it's the female has developed a friendship on Facebook with a male, and the husband or the boyfriend has found out about it and feels quite confronted and even cheated upon. But she's going, but I'm not cheating on you. I'm only just having a little bit of, back and forth with this particular male friend that I've never met and don't know. So I asked them both the question, well, what is cheating to you? And the differences are quite extraordinary. One person may be, well, cheating to me is being involved in an intimate relationship, perhaps less attire on your body. Another person may say, but no, cheating to me is having a cup of coffee or flirting with the person at work of the opposite sex. So couples really have a complete differentiation of even the word cheating. So that's another thing that I think is very important for couples to discuss as well. Not that we're saying either are going to do anything inappropriate or wrong, but we need to ensure via communication what we know our partner thinks and how they feel. And if we don't know that, well, we're not being placed in a very good position for our relationship. But I talk about social media in as far as what we share on social media, who we speak to, what relationships that we develop with our friends on social media. And what I do encourage all couples to have is sharing passwords. Always sharing passwords on everything, whether it be their Twitter, their Instagram, their Facebook. So either partner can get on and have a look or a read, see what's going on in their partner's world. And that is so important. Sharing bank account details and bank passwords is also a really good idea, because when we become a we, everything we do, everything we think, everything we feel, everything we say has an effect on our partner. And that's what's so important in our relationship with our partner. Now, I'll ask, I guess, quickly before I keep going, does anybody have any questions? What I'm often asked when I speak to a large group is that one of the biggest ones is, how do we stop fighting? And I did touch on that a little bit earlier. But to answer, how do I stop fighting? How do I no longer have arguments with my partner? Okay. So the answer to that is just a few little steps that will work for everyone, and they work all the time, absolute. If you wish to talk to your partner, you sit down with them. You don't cut the vegetables or wash the car or vacuum the floor. You actually sit down and look at them face to face. Sweetheart, I need to talk to you about something. Have you got a moment? So we both sit down and we're engaged. Then you tell the partner or say what it is that you're thinking or feeling. And your partner paraphrases that back to you. So you might say, you know what, sweetie, we agreed before that when I cooked the dinner, you were going to, pack the dishwasher or wash up. You haven't been doing that. Now, the partner could say, yeah, I do that, and he might start to escalate, and then she may start to, you're not listening to me, and off we go in an argument. But if the partner says, oh, so you're saying that I'm not actually cleaning up after dinner when you cook? Yes, that's exactly what I've said. Or the partner may say, Are you saying that I never clean up after dinner? No, that's not what I've said, sweetheart. I'm saying that we agreed to this and sometimes you forget to do it. Oh, okay, so we've got clarity. So therefore we've got no escalation, we've got no anger, we've got clarity. And then what I suggest couples do is stop talking about the issue at that point. The next step is talk about the solution. So it comes back to her if she's raised and says, yes, now I know you have a long, hard day like I do. And what I thought might be a good idea is straight after dinner, and we go back to our two choices that I spoke on earlier, you can either clean up straight after dinner or before you go and have your shower. What's better for you? What suits you? And he would be, well, I guess I could clean up straight after dinner, or he may choose before his shower. But he will own that choice. And when he owns the choice, he will likely gravitate to do that. So she is not telling him or nagging him, as the word often is used, to do something that he has agreed to do. The same, and it works both ways, him or her. I'm just using him and her, but it's not a gender biased thing. Now, if we follow those basic little rules, raise the issue face to face without any distractions, and particularly put the phones and the laptops and the tablets away, so we actually talk without any of that, then the person that you're speaking to paraphrases back just to ensure that they've got the clarity. So you meant A, B and C. And she may or he may say, well, actually, I meant A, B and D, not C. Oh, okay, now I understand A, B and D. Great, so we've got that clarity, that's the issue, that's the problem I have. The next step is to look at the solution, to find the solution to the problem that was raised. And both people need to be involved in the solution, or try and work out what will be better. Now, you may not know straight away what's best, but you could make, again, your two choices. Well, we could try this, or we could try that. So how about if we do this for a week and see how it goes? And if that doesn't work, perhaps we'll try that. Now, when we're able to do these sorts of communication exercises with our partner, we remove the conflict, we remove the anger. And often when we become angry, we'll say things that can't be unsaid. And what I say to my couples generally is what comes out here, goes in here, stays in here. And things cannot be unsaid once they've been said. And that's a bit of a problem that we do have. So the best idea is do something different. Don't say it. And when we don't say it, there's no harm done. And the way to de-escalate and ensure that you are showing kindness to your partner at all times is to de-escalate everything and find ways to ensure that that person is feeling comfortable and safe in your relationship at all times. Just as a parent needs to ensure their child's safety and the child feels loved and nurtured and educated, what a partner needs to do is the same for their partner. It doesn't matter if it's a him or a her. Our partners must feel safe with us. They must feel respected and appreciated in everything that they do, whether it be making you a cup of tea, making you baked beans on toast, mowing the lawn, whatever it is. Appreciate them. And I'm sure many of the people that are in a relationship and are a couple have probably said, if not out loud, certainly to themselves, I'm not appreciated. I don't feel appreciated. I do so much and I'm not appreciated. Well, do you know how easy it is to show appreciation to someone? You recognise what they've done. You simply need to recognise it costs us nothing. There's no energy, no money, not even any time taken out of our day. We simply notice them and we recognise it. Such as, thank you for the cup of tea. Lawn looks great. That's all we need to do. And when we're able to do that, which is so easy and free, then our partner does feel appreciated. And when we feel appreciated, our self-esteem rises. And we've got so much of a problem these days with depression and with anxiety. And much of that comes from a relationship that we're not comfortable or happy in. So if we can all learn to be in our relationship as a we, if we can all learn to appreciate, respect and be kind to our partner, if we can learn the basic communication techniques and styles to de-escalate so no arguments ever need to occur within our coupleness, within our life, then I am sure our rates of anxiety and depression will probably also be halved. And that's what I'd like to see. Halving that. Because when we are happy, we're happy. And it really is that simple. We're happy, we're happy. And this comes back to, again, kindness. When you're kind to someone, you don't expect anything back. You're simply doing something, perhaps for yourself because it makes you feel good, but it's a kindness. Now, Michael said something to me earlier. Oh, actually, he said it yesterday or the day before, that part of kindness is taking the kinder option. And that really resonated with me. And I was telling him a little earlier, I had an issue with, surprise, a telecommunications company. So I'd been on the phone to them off and on for days. I was on the phone again yesterday. And when I was talking to them for the third time, I was starting to get a little bit animated and a bit cross because I'd had this conversation numerous times and nothing had been resolved. And in the back of my head, Michael's words kept ringing. Take the kinder option. Take the kinder option. So I did. And I just felt so much more calm, so much better within myself. And the way that I spoke to the person was obviously kinder because it wasn't their fault that they worked for this dreadful communications company. And the whole thing was turned around by the words that Michael had said to me in passing. Always take the kinder option. And I think if everybody could do that and that could resonate in everybody's mind, then no matter what we're doing, who we're communicating with, where we are, take the kinder option will always serve not only us, but everyone else better. So I implore everyone that can hear this to take the kinder option each day and every day, because it costs you nothing, but it serves an amazingly wonderful purpose for us all. And I think that the kinder that we are to ourselves, to each other, and to our community, just like what's happened here today, the inclusiveness that we have for all people, young and old, able-bodied and less able-bodied, all of those people will be included in everything because of the kinder option that we all choose to take. I know I'm finishing a little early, but I think I've probably spoken long enough. So unless there's any questions from anybody in the audience? No? Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, Michael.
I'm just wondering, when you're upset, when you're not heard, when you feel you've been excluded, your self-worth goes down, how is it? Is it an easier path to take the kinder option, or is it
Great question.
far less travel?
Michael's question is, if we do feel that we've not been heard, if we feel that people have disregarded us, and we're left with a feeling that our self-esteem has fallen down, what do we do? Do we take the path of kindness? And my answer to that is yes. We've got two choices. We can get angry. We can escalate. We can argue that this isn't fair and how dare they do this. But you know what? We don't know usually what the other person is thinking. We don't know what the other person is feeling. We don't know what they've experienced either that day or even that week or year in their life. So yes, taking a kinder path is exactly what we need to do, not only for ourselves but also for the other person or persons, because we don't know their story. We really don't know their story. We presume we do, and most people believe we're wonderful mind readers. But the last time I saw my mind reading hat was back in the back of the laundry cupboard. I don't have a mind reading hat, yet we actually believe that we do. We seem to know everything about everyone else, but we don't. We don't know their story. I know a few of the people here, and I think lovely people, but you know what? I don't know their story. I don't know the road that they've travelled to get here today. I don't know what they've experienced in their life to bring them to this point in time. So for me to presume that I know that is perhaps a little arrogant, you could say. So taking the kinder option, Michael, absolutely, always. And when we do feel perhaps down or our self-esteem has taken a bit of a knock, then we talk to somebody that can help build us up, that can make us feel good, whether that be our partner or our kids or our parents or our friend. It really doesn't matter. It can even be a therapist. But talk to somebody to help you through that moment in time. Read a book. Read something that promotes that sort of positive thinking and self-esteem lifting values that you're after. And gravitate to those people that do make you feel good, that make you feel empowered, that make you feel strong. Start doing something for yourself to generate that. And that's also very important. We don't need for people to make us feel like that. It's something that we need to generate internally in ourselves, just like our models have done here today. They've absolutely, even though they were nervous and they all indicated they were scared and frightened, but they did it anyway. And because they chose that, they've entered into a new area of their life, and their self-confidence, their self-esteem, and even the recognition that they had the capability to do a professional modelling gig can never be taken away from them. They've done something that most people aspire to do in this world, and they've done it, and they've done it beautifully. So we don't want to rely on another person to make us feel good, even though that's lovely. It needs to come from within. It needs to resonate from within. And kindness is a way, when we do that for ourselves and for others, that we do get a building within ourselves of that feeling of confidence and love. And that's what it's all about. So thank you so much.